In folk healing, a large part of what we do is use symbols on behalf of our clients. This includes the entities we choose to interact with, the objects we use, the incense, the anything that we can apply to help our client find peace, to find healing. This can take a lot of different forms. So today, I'm going to break down some of the basic shapes of crystals and stones and how they are used, at least how I use them, in folk practice. To begin with, we're going to start with raw stones. Raw stones bring their inherent meaning, and they bring the primal essence of that stone. So I have some examples here, where this is an amethyst geode, which, if you look at it closely, you can see it has a lot of points. The back side is just the edge of the geode. It doesn't have a particularly stated purpose based off of its form. There is stuff we can apply about it, though. It has points, so it directs energy along those points. The back side is very flat, so that stops energy. So we have an origin point and we have a direction. So that is how we can use raw stones to direct energy. Some other examples are this piece of obsidian. It is just a chunk that was broken off of a larger piece. It has very sharp angular features. It still has all the qualities of obsidian, which is absorption, peace, purification, but it's not particularly well developed. It is the primal forces of those concepts. Now we're going to look at some of the more shaped stones. So first, we're going to look at spheres. This is a mahogany obsidian sphere, and the benefit of spheres is that they provide balanced energy in every direction. So you take whatever the meaning of the stone is, and you are projecting it easily, balanced across the entire area. One of the other things to note is that these are very good for handing clients who need something in their hands because they're very fidgety, or you are trying to really give them that concept of, this is a meaning I need you to hold on to. You are overcome with emotion right now, so I am going to hand you this piece, quite literally a piece of peace, to hold, to calm. That is how I use spheres a lot. Closely related to the sphere is the egg. So where a sphere has very balanced energy in every direction, the egg very much has a linear line where there is a heavier point down on the thicker side and a narrower point where energy flows usually towards the narrower point. In this case, we are combining the symbolism of the malachite, which is spiritual protection, health, and we are attaching it also with the symbolism of the shape of an egg, which is even more protection. It can also be used as fertility. And also, I often, if we're in a place where using a raw egg might cause discomfort or problems, for egg cleanses, I will use egg-shaped stones as a substitute. Most often when I am doing that, I am going to be using either obsidian or selenite, because I also have samples of those. So my selenite one is very large, and my obsidian one is rather small by comparison. But they each serve their purpose. After spheres and eggs, we can get into other shapes that are a bit more natural but have been modified, which would be points. So this has a clearly defined edge where it rests, and it directs energy out the point. So we are taking the meaning of the stone, in this case, clear quartz, and we are directing it in that direction. When we do this, we can either have it going straight up, we can lay it down in a stone grid to direct energy to another stone, or the representation of our client. Another modified shape that I see fairly often are needles. This one is out of mahogany obsidian, so it has all the qualities of obsidian, but it also has the qualities of a wand, because you can use it to direct energy. Because it's obsidian, which absorbs things, you can use it to poke at things to absorb energy that you don't want on your hands. And also, you can use it to direct energy to puncture things that are very dense. Because, again, it has a point. While it's not a sharp point, again, we're dealing with symbolism. So I could symbolically use it to stitch something together or unpick it and pull it apart. Another shape that is very common are modifications of either cubes, rectangles, or anything else that is particularly blocky. So in this case, I have some honey citrine, which is very much a block, which is very stable. So I can use this to put things on top of, to imbue it with the energy, or I can use it as a wall to block sections with the energy of the citrine. Closely related to blocks are slabs. So this is a thin piece of rose quartz that you can use either as a charging plate to imbue an object with the qualities of the rose quartz, or you could get stands and stand it up to, again, block energies to separate things out. With stones, because we can imbue our content or our intent upon them, there are also things that combine multiple shapes. For example, this is a basalt massage stone. If I lay it flat, it's a slab. If I hold it up, it's a circle. Circles promote movement of energy and balanced movement. Slabs imbue their quality. In this case, because it is basalt, which is a grounding stone, it will draw energy out of whatever you put on top of it. The last categorization of shape informs function that I'm going to talk about is when you actually take a stone and carve it into a specific entity. So I have a handful of examples that I'm going to use. In this case, this is a malachite panther. So malachite is a stone that is often used in healing, and particularly in protecting you spiritually and when you are dreaming. So the fact that it is a panther, which is a quiet predator, adds to that meaning of the malachite. Having a panther guard you in your sleep can be quite a powerful symbol. Another symbol is the raven. So this one, because they gave it blue eyes, is juvenile, but ravens symbolically carry magic long distance to other locations. In Norse mythology, Hunin and Munin are the messengers of Odin. They are his watchers. Native American mythology uses a lot of those similar concepts, where the raven is the carrier of distance magic, the carrier of messages, but less specifically designated to a specific entity. And instead, if you see ravens in your dreams, there's a message coming for you. Someone is working a spell either on your behalf or against you. That can be subject to interpretation. Also, I will clarify that each tribe has its own belief system, and I'm just using a very generic, overarching, many tribes agree with this, but there are exceptions. Do not take what I just said as word of law. The last one that I want to use as an example is the lion. So lions, particularly in Christianity, are seen as either a punishment from God or a protector. I happen to have two of these that I put on either side of my computer monitor for the concept of I have placed protection, particularly since they are obsidian, absorptive protection between myself and the computer monitor. These are some of the ways that you can multiply your symbolism and your meaning as you combine shapes with the function that you want to apply. To sum up, when we apply a shape to an object that already has an associated meaning, all we're doing is layering additional meaning on top of it. We are making a stronger image, a stronger intention for our workings. And I do this just kind of in everything I do because I have been working with symbolism my entire life. Being raised in the LDS church, symbolism, I grew up, so story time for a little bit. Being raised in the LDS church, there is the concept of seminary, where you go before school every morning to study the scriptures with someone who has been called to teach the youth. And one of my favorite things about it, with one of my teachers, is he would do object lessons, where first he modeled this for us, where he had us bring in whatever random object and he would relate it to the gospel, which was fascinating. And then after he had done that a few times, he started bringing random objects and asking us to apply it to the gospel. So from a young age, I was already introduced to the fact that symbolism and intention go hand in hand, and you can apply your intention and your symbolism to an object because you're doing a working for yourself or for someone close to you. And that is not how it was explained at all in seminary, but it is a more generic, more approachable method of dealing with symbolism. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, I would be honored if you would like and subscribe. And if not, that's all right. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. So with that said, I hope you all have a lovely day. And until we meet again, walk in the light. Bye.